What's cooking in the world of big banks? Gather round because we've got some news. We're talking about the big players, the household names in banking. Yes, those massive institutions that handle a whole lot of our money. They're starting to peek over the fence into the wild world of cryptocurrency. It's a development that has certainly raised a few eyebrows. Now, when I say big players, I mean the real heavyweights. We're talking about JPMorgan Chase, Bank of America, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo. These aren't just any banks. These are institutions that form the bedrock of the U.S. financial system. So when they start exploring something new, especially something as cutting edge as crypto, people sit up and pay attention. It's like the popular kids in high school suddenly deciding the chess club is cool. Their interest isn't just a passing fancy. It could signal a real shift in how traditional finance views and potentially integrates digital currencies. The very fact that these conversations are happening is noteworthy. So you hear cryptocurrency and your mind might jump straight to Bitcoin. It's exciting, sure, like a financial roller coaster, but these banks, they're looking at something a little different, a specific type of crypto called a stablecoin. Now, what in the digital world is a stablecoin, you ask? Well, the name kind of gives it away. It's designed to be stable. Most stablecoins are pegged or linked to a real-world asset, usually a fiat currency. Think of the good old US dollar. The companies or entities that issue these stablecoins typically hold reserves of that fiat currency to back up the value of the coins they've put out there. This backing is what helps keep the price steady, unlike other cryptocurrencies whose values are driven purely by supply and demand in the market. For crypto traders, they're super handy. They aim to provide the technological advantages of cryptocurrencies, like fast transactions and global reach, but with the price stability of traditional currencies. So, what's the big plan these banking titans are reportedly mulling over? It sounds like they're considering a bit of a group project. Instead of each bank going off and creating its own little digital coin, they might team up to issue a joint stablecoin. Think of it as the financial Avengers assembling, but instead of fighting intergalactic villains, they're aiming to create a new form of digital payment. This collaborative approach could be quite powerful, pooling their resources, expertise, and importantly, their vast customer bases. It's an interesting strategy, potentially creating something more widely accepted from the get-go. One particularly interesting wrinkle in these early discussions is the potential model for this bank-backed stablecoin. It wouldn't necessarily be an exclusive club just for the founding members. The idea being floated is that this stablecoin could be designed in a way that allows other banks to use it as well. Imagine a universally accepted bank-issued stablecoin. That could really streamline payments and settlements, making things faster and potentially cheaper for everyone involved. However, it's crucial to keep our excitement in check just a little. Section 4. Radio silence. What the banks aren't saying, yet. Now, with all this exciting talk of big banks and new digital money, you'd think they'd be shouting it from the rooftops, right? Well, not quite. When the news about these potential stablecoin explorations broke, the response from the banks themselves was, shall we say, rather muted. It was less of a roar and more of the sound of a tumbleweed rolling through a very quiet corporate office. It's the classic no-comment symphony, and it's playing loud and clear. Citigroup, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo all declined to comment. JPMorgan Chase reportedly did not respond to a request for comment made outside of regular business hours. This official reticence, this wall of no comment, actually adds another layer of intrigue to the whole situation, doesn't it? It signals that these discussions are likely sensitive and significant. The banks are playing their cards close to their chests, waiting for the right moment to reveal their hand. Section 5. Crypto, Politics, and what this all means for you. Now, you can't talk about big moves in crypto these days without at least a little nod to the political climate. And speaking of political spice, former President Donald Trump has recently been very vocal about his support for cryptocurrency. He's out there saying he wants to be the crypto president. Mr. Trump has also suggested that he believes crypto can actually improve the banking system. He also mentioned that it could increase the US dollar's dominance. This is a fascinating perspective, suggesting that instead of undermining the dollar, certain types of crypto, perhaps like the stable coins these banks are exploring, could actually reinforce its global standing. So, how does this political cheerleading affect what JPMorgan, Bank of America, and the others are doing? Well, it could create a more favorable regulatory environment. Ultimately, what does all this mean for you, the average person? If these bank-backed stablecoins become a reality, they could eventually lead to faster, cheaper ways to send and receive money. Imagine instant payments, lower transaction fees, especially for international transfers. But it's still early days. So what are your thoughts on all this? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more updates.